Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we're going to be exploring Kerberoasting. So in the previous video we explored the process of performing an ASREP roasting attack, and now we're turning our attention to Kerberoasting. So the first thing we're going to do is understand what Kerberoasting is so that you understand how it differs from ASREP roasting. So to kick things off, Kerberoasting is also a post-exploitation attack technique that attempts to obtain a password hash of an Active Directory account. However, an Active Directory account that has a service principal name or an SPN. All right, so in such an attack, an authenticated domain user requests a Kerberos ticket for an SPN. All right, the retrieved Kerberos ticket is encrypted with the hash of the service account password affiliated with the SPN. What is an SPN? An SPN is an attribute that ties a service to a user account within the Active Directory environment. The adversary then works offline to crack the password hash, often using brute force techniques, as we did in the previous video with John the Ripper. So once the plaintext credentials of the service account are obtained, the adversary can impersonate the account owner associated with the SPN and inherit access to any systems, assets, or networks granted to the compromised account. So we're pretty much, again, looking for accounts that have an SPN. All right. Now, in this particular lab environment, you'll be provided with RDP access, again, to, same Windows Server 2012 system via the domain account student. We're working from the premise of an assumed breach, and our task is going to be to identify accounts that have a service principal name or SPN enabled, allowing the attacker or allowing ourselves to request TGS tickets and extract the password hashes. So by exploiting this, our aim is to gain the cracked password for the identified account, helping us to compromise data or elevate our privileges in the Active Directory environment. So in terms of the actual objective, which I've already laid out, let me just go through it again. Identify user accounts with the service principal name enabled. Perform a Kerberoasting attack to extract password hashes and then use the cracked password to compromise data or elevate privileges. And these are the tasks. So step one, identify user accounts with the service principal name enabled. Secondly, request a TGS ticket for the specified SPN using Kerberos. And finally, crack the password from the TGS ticket using TGS rep crack. So that's the tool we're going to be using. Now, it goes without saying that this video has a lab associated with it, and it's a very similar lab to the one we used in the previous video. And what I'm going to do is fire up the lab, and I'll see you there in a couple of seconds. All right, so I'm back within the lab environment, and again, as we've done previously, I'm just going to fire up a Windows PowerShell session. And there we go. So let me just run this here, and I am going to again increase the font size as I've done previously, and we'll set that to about 28, like so. Okay, excellent. So now I'm going to navigate to the tools directory in the root of the C drive. So tools, there we are, and we're going to import PowerView. The PowerView module right over here, you can see it. So it's right within that folder. So we're going to firstly set the PowerShell execution policy to bypass. So there we are. And now I am going to load the PowerShell, or rather the PowerView module. So we'll say PowerView.ps1 like so, and we are good to go. So first things first, we need to identify user accounts with an SPN, and I've already explained what an SPN is, but let me go through it again. So an SPN, or a service principal name, is used by Kerberos authentication to associate a service instance with a service logon account, And this pretty much allows a client application to request that service authenticate an account even if the client does not have the account name. In a Kerberoasting attack, what we are doing as the attacker is pretty much, firstly to identify accounts that have SPNs, or enumerate service, the actual SPNs for service, for the service accounts that are being targeted. And if we wanted to do that, we can easily do that by saying, for example, let me clear that out. So I will say get net user, and then I'll pipe and say where the object, as we did again similar to the previous video. I'll then open up curly braces, and in here we'll just say what we're looking for is the service principal name, and we'll close that out, and we can then pipe this and say format lists, so just FL instead of typing in format list. So I hit enter. And in this particular case, the set SPN command is, and I'm specifically speaking to SPNs, but the set SPN command is used to manage the SPN directory property for an active directory service account. So this command allows us to find the one we just ran. It allows us to find all SPNs that are registered to an account across all domains within the forest. So we can see right over here, if we take a couple of these examples, there we go. So we can see that the service principal name, kadmin, change password, and we can see this is associated with the user Steven, and we can pretty much at this point run another command. So we can run the set SPN command. So I can say set SPN T research Q, and then we can just say asterisk /*, like so. There we go. You can see existing SPN found. So what we've done here with the set SPN command is, again, the set SPN command is used to manage the SPN directory property for an active directory service account, and this allows us to find all the SPNs registered to an account. So if we can now review the Kerberos tickets by typing in klist, so if I say klist here, there we are. So we can see the Kerberos accounts here, or rather the Kerberos tickets, and the klist command is used to list the Kerberos tickets for the current user session. And Kerberos tickets are used in, again, are used in conjunction with the Kerberos authentication protocol to prove identity for network interaction. So the next step is to request a TGS ticket for the specified SPN using Kerberos. So if we want to initiate a TGS ticket request, then we need to run a specific set of commands. So the first thing we want to do is add type. I'm just going to type it in here. So we're going to say add type, and I'll explain what we're doing. And then I'm going to say assembly name system dot identity model, and then we're going to say new object, system dot identity model, and we're going to say tokens dot Kerberos requester security token. All right, and then we're going to say the argument list is going to be, and we're going to specify the actual right over here. We're going to just specify the SPN that we want. So in this particular case, the SPN that we want to use is, let me see if I can find it here. So we have LDAP KR BTGT. Let's see if we go to this one right over here. One moment. There we are. So kadmin, this one right here. So OPS, that's the SPN we want. So we will say let me just go to where I was typing in the command. So we will say ops research dot security dot local, and we will specify what was the value there. Let me just go back up one moment. So 1434, okay. SPN is 1434. So let me make sure. So yeah, 1434. Close the double quotes there. Just going to hit enter now. Okay, so what we've done now, or what this commands, the commands we've run do, so the command add type, the assembly name, system identity model, loads the .NET assembly system identity model into the current PowerShell session, and the assembly contains the system identity model tokens Kerberos requested token class, which can request a Kerberos ticket granting service. So that's TGS ticket for the specified SPN. And now what we can do is export the Kerberos ticket. So we can utilize something like Mimikatz and export the Kerberos tickets for, for use, or, if we want to crack them. So I believe within the tools directory, we should have the, let me see, we should have the Mimikatz script. Let me see if we do. Yeah, invoke Mimikatz. So I'm just going to load Mimikatz. So I'm just going to say invoke Mimikatz.ps1. And now I can say invoke Mimikatz. The command is going to be, we will say Kerberos list. Okay, and then we are going to say export. And I'll close the double quotes and then the single quote there. And I'll hit enter. And this is going to list all the Kerberos ticket and then export them for us. So there we are. It's going to save them to a file, and we can see right over here. These are so they've been exported, saved file. Let's see. So if I say ls here, where are they? Let's actually filter. So ls, and then I'll say select name. That'll show us those particular ones. There we are. So these are the Kerberos tickets right over here. So we have student KRBTGT, student at OPS, and LDAP. Okay. So the ticket we want is student at OPS research .security.local. So we now need to crack the password, or the ticket from the TGS ticket using the tool TGS REP crack. So in this particular case, this particular tool is found in the tools directory as well. So I'm just going to open up the file explorer and show you where it is. So it's under tools, and it's going to be under Kerberos Python 3 right over here, and we want the Python 3 script TGS REP crack, this one right over here. Okay, so we can actually run it from this folder with Python, from the tools folder with Python. So let me just there we are. So I'll just say python.exe, and then I'll say Kerberos Python 3, I believe, is the folder, and then we'll say the script name is tgs rep crack.py, and then we're going to use the word list we used in the previous video, 10k worst passwords.txt, and then we are going to crack the TGS ticket file. Let's see, what was it again? It was 140A. Yeah, 140A. So we'll just say here 140A, there we are. And we can now hit enter. All right, so we'll give this a couple of seconds now. And what this command will do, or what TGS REP crack is doing, is again using the word list to attempt to crack the password encrypted in the TGS ticket file. And once it's done, you can see it displays the password right over here. So the password is Maverick. And we can see that, you know, that is pretty much Kerberoasting in a nutshell. So while this may be a little bit complex to perform or to understand, again, this is still part of the attacks on Kerberos, the protocol itself. And there's many other tools that you can use to perform Kerberoasting that make the process a lot simpler. But in this case, you know, we actually followed the methodology quite well, where, as you already know, step 1 is to identify the user accounts with the service principal name enabled, and then request a TGS ticket for the specified SPN using Kerberos, which we did, and then crack the password from the TGS ticket using TGS REP crack. So with that being said, that brings us to the end of the practical demonstration section of this video.